Hi, this is James from the Hornbill Professional Services team, and this is a short tutorial to show you how to configure contracts against an organization. So these are contracts that can be linked to third parties or the actual organization themselves. So these are configured on the organization properties. So if I take you to that now, so in File, Manage Organizations, and then Manage, and if I just open up my test organization, you'll have a tab here called Contracts, and as you can see I've got one in there at the moment. So if I was to create a new one, I'll go to Actions, then Create New. So let's create a new contract. You can give this an ID. So here was where you would choose your type. So this could be things like a standard contract, extended, which could be effectively a 24/7 contract, or corporate customer, third party, so you can have a contract directly for your third parties. So for this particular instance, I'm going to keep it with standard, and I'm just going to choose the validation dates just for a week in this one. You can't choose the next review because you would need to set up the actual review first. So let's get that screen back up there. So in this particular tab here, you set up review periods, but you can only do that once the record's been added. However, what you will need to do is specify an owner from the internal point of view, and also a sponsor, which will be a customer in that organization. So now I've done that. So you can't configure any of these tabs other than description. That'll do. So if I click on Add Record, you'll see that's now been added to the list. So these contracts can be used if you're a MSP, or perhaps if you sell these contracts for particular services, and you can keep an eye on them based on processing costs, and perhaps even for reviewing their particular contracts. If they're going to end at a certain period of time, you want it to alert you to say these people need to renew their maintenance. Or so there's lots of ways that you can actually configure these. So I'm going to go through these options. So these can be linked to 3 different items. They can be linked to SLAs, they can be linked to CIs, and also services. So I'm going to show you how to link it to each one of these. So for the first example, SLAs, so if I was to click on Actions, then Associate, we've got my one SLA in here, so I'm going to select my customer SLA and click on Select. You can see here that it's populated. If I double click on my SLA, you can see that it's gone straight to that particular form. So you can see here a standard price. So this is how you can calculate for this particular contract how much you're going to charge for this particular SLA. So you're going to charge, for example, maybe £50 for this SLA. I'm going to save changes there. What will happen is I'm just going to disassociate that and associate again, purely because so it updates with that £50. Okay, and then just reopen the contract just to make sure it all refreshes. So you can see here in the pricing tab, under summary, we've got SLAs, one SLA, this is how much we're charging. Now there's a column here that says adjustment. So obviously if you have any kind of discounts, or maybe you're adding on money for any particular reason, you can use these adjustments for a percentage. So let's say we're going to give a discount of 10%. That'll calculate for you the adjusted price. So I'm going to save changes and come back into the contract. It takes a moment to update, so we'll give it a minute. But you can see here in the breakdown how it has taken off that particular 10%. So in regards to configuration items, so these are slightly different. So if I take you to a particular CI in the system, So let's say we're going to charge on this contract for the asset 2. These are charged based on the configuration type. So you can see here this is a hardware desktop. So if I go to the configuration type of hardware desktop, so that's File, Manage CMDB Categories, into Hardware. In my configuration types I've got Desktop, so let's go into that. And in the Service Catalog section you can add in here how much one of these desktops are going to cost you. So let's say it costs you £80, but you're going to charge 100. Let's save changes. Now what will happen is once we associate a CI onto that contract, so let's go back to the contracts. So let's search and associate that asset 2. There we go, it's in the list there. Let's go back into it. It's not quite updated yet. You can see in the breakdown that it's updated. Just takes a minute on the summary section how it's got the standard price. It's picked up the price of this particular configuration item. And again, you can go into it and add some adjustments if you need to. So also you do exactly the same thing with services. So if we were to have a look at the services, and if we've got any in here, yes we do. So what I'm going to do is, in fact, let me create a new service. So this could be any kind of service. This could be any kind of business or technical service, or related to software, or it could be related to like a new starter. Perhaps you charge based on that. So here's our new service. I'm just going to associate it with a service level, and where the costing happens on here, you do it over a subscription. So I'm just going to subscribe the test organization. I'm going to say the start date is today, and it's based on subscription price. So here's your price. So I'm going to say, would say £200 for this particular service. I'm going to apply subscription. There we go. So now what you'll see is once we associate that service across to our contract, that will again update. Actions, search and associate. Select our service. There we go. It will ask you for default support units. We'll go into this straight after this particular section. This is basically support units. You can set a certain amount of units. So let's say a particular organization purchases 100 units from you, and each call that you resolve takes away 1. So it's that sort of decrement from 100 down all the way down to 0, where perhaps I need to purchase more time. So I'm going to keep this at 0 for now, but I will show you that in the next section. So you can see now it's associated. Let's go back into the contract. You can see the other sections have updated now, so it's just taken a little bit of time there. So you can see also the service has appeared, so we'll see that in the summary in a couple of minutes' time. So this can be very handy to keep a hold of the costing as and when you make your agreements with your end customers, or even with third parties. So again, you can set this up purely from a third party point of view. So available support units. So you can see here you can choose from days, hours, units. Effectively, it depends on how you charge. So I'm going to say, in this example, I'm going to use unit, and I'm going to say they've only got 100 units available, and this is the method that you want to take it down. So how would you like for it to calculate how many units it's got left? So I'm going to say I want to prompt the analyst on ticket resolution or closure. As soon as you close a ticket, it's going to take one off. So if I keep that and save changes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to log a call for someone in that organization. Okay, I've got my test customer. There we go. Test call. Test call. There we go. So you can see here it's picked up contract 2. So again, whichever contract's been associated to the organizations will be available in this list. If there's more than one, obviously you can use the drop down. Let's open up the call and resolve. So you can see when you're resolving the call, you have this tab that says support units. So again, you're selecting a contract, you're saying, right, how many units have I spent on resolving this call? It could be 10, it could be 20. It's entirely down to you how you use your increments and decrements. And let's say I'm going to resolve this call. There we go, that's done. So what will happen now is it will only have so many units left now, so it will automatically do all these calculations for you. You can see the service is now populated, and now that's gone down to 90. So equally you can do exactly the same with the days and hours. References is used for any kind of documents that backs up your contract, perhaps PDFs or literally Word documents. It's just something there that you can just refer to if you need be, because sometimes you do need to go back to your contracts, and last thing you want to do is just start searching for it. Review periods. These are very simple to set up. Effectively, you can set up a review for any particular time. So if we set up a test review, so you've got choices of bespoke time or every period, monthly, weekly, and you can choose, for example, which day you want it on, and here you can choose who you want to email based on this particular review. So you maybe want to email the group manager or service manager, so I'll pick up from these email addresses here. You can choose which template you want to use. These will be picked up from your bulk email templates. So if you want to set them up, it's under mail, then manage mail templates, and then expand the bulk email templates. These are where these are set up. Or Supportworks Messenger, you can simply send a little pop-up to someone. These are easily missed, so it's probably email's the best way to keep a hold of these reviews, just in case you need to go back to your organization and say, can you please pay for more? What's also good is that you can use a particular threshold. So if a particular unit threshold gets down below, let's say 10, or if you have 100, again, you can send an email or send a pop-up. So the only other sections here that I haven't shown you is the associated requests. So you can see that this particular call had been logged against the contract, and also the audit trail showing what we've done as we've updated it. There we go. So that's all. If you have any problems, let me know. Hopefully that is straightforward. If you do have contracts, then please do build it in. But if you have any comments or any kind of enhancements for this, please let me know.